The vote for the Crow coin staking buff has officially began, and it looks like there is a very big chance of it passing. So the Crypto.com team has broken down exactly what this will mean for the altcoin and what staking yield can be expected following the pass of this vote, all of which we are going to cover in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So last week on the channel, or rather earlier this week, I guess, we basically covered the CRONOS POS chain and how it saw a massive inflow of Crow coin actually being staked on the network, which also led to a huge decrease in the staking yield. So we can see here that the amount of Crow being staked on the network shot up from 25% to over 30%, essentially overnight. And that does have to do with Crypto.com actually moving a bunch of their Crow coin locked up for the Visa program and actually using it to contribute to the CRONOS POS chain. So what was about 6.8 billion Crow locked up on this chain, and not even a couple of weeks ago, is now sitting at above 9.1 billion Crow. And the bigger deal about this is that at the same time the staking ratio has gone up, the staking APR has subsequently came right down from, basically over 8% at the beginning of December, and now sitting at about 6.5%. In fact, that was actually 6.5% at the time that this chart was published. It is now even lower than that, sitting at about 5.5%. And this chart here over at stakingrewards.com does a very good job of breaking down the inverse correlation between the amount of staked Crow and the yield being offered. And the reason this happens is because the more Crow coin that is being staked, the more rewards that are being shared with more people. So that's why we do see this inverse relationship between the two. And yeah, we can see here that on January, let's say January 15th, or let's go back to the 12th. We had 6.79 billion Crow staked, and it was offering a yield of 7.31%. Now we have 9.1 billion staked Crow, offering rewards at just under 5.5%. So a pretty steep decline if you are used to getting that 7 to 8% yield on your Crow coin, and one that a lot of people definitely were not happy about. So we did see the CRONOS POS chain swiftly release a proposal to increase targeted bonded ratio and optimize Crow incentives, effectively increase the yield in simpler terms. And yeah, they basically said here the total amount of Crow staked has increased, but from around more than 70%, from 5 billion at the beginning of 2023, now up above 9.1 billion. And the yield, at the beginning of 2023 was actually at 12%, so in that double-digit range. And now we are over 50% down from that level. So the CRONOS POS chain operates on the Cosmos SDK, and it adheres to an inflation schedule governed by the Mint module, and the staking APR is influenced by two primary factors. The first is the Mint module, and the second is the staking or bonding ratio. The higher the number of staked Crow tokens, the more recipients there are for rewards, which in turn dilutes the APR for each participant. So how does the new mechanism actually work? Basically, there are three key parameters that are going to be changed. This is why it is so important that, basically, if you understand these three key parameters, you will understand what is going on with the burn mechanism. So inflation max, it actually has the upper limit of the inflation rate at 2.5%. The inflation rate change discusses the maximum annual change in the inflation rate. Right now, it is at 0.6%. And it's influenced by the goal bonded parameter. Now, the goal bonded parameter is the desired staking ratio for the CRONOS POS chain, which currently sits at 30%, and the network's inflation rate adjusts in response to this target. If the actual staking ratio is below the goal, the inflation rate will increase up to inflation max. Conversely, if the staking ratio exceeds the goal, the inflation rate will decrease, which is what we're seeing right now. So what they're looking to do is update the inflation cap from 2.5% to 3.7%. The inflation rate change, they're looking to adjust up to 1%. And the gold bonded, they are looking to increase the target from 30% up to 60%. So basically, because they have exceeded that gold bonded of 30%, this has led to a decrease in the inflation rate. So increasing the cap on the gold bonded would also basically increase the staking yield once again. Now, speaking of increase in staking yield, what would this look like if this proposal was going to pass? And we actually did see the CRONOS chain team share here on Twitter. So one estimate is that all other things being equal, this proposal would increase the max yield from 6.2% to 9.1%. Now we're at about 5.5%. So you could estimate that it'd probably come in at about an 8.5% yield at the current staking ratio of 35% after community tax, but before validator commission. So if you throw in the validator commission, you're probably looking at closer to about 8%, up from 5.5% at the moment. Pretty substantial jump, but again, that does come with the drawback of having the inflation rate increased. Now, we take a look at the proposal, which is live on GitHub here. This is on MintScan, but there's two interesting things happening right now, okay? So first of all, we can see that for the CRO coin that has voted, 97.3% are in favor of this vote passing. And obviously, we can see that the weight distribution here is we have all nodes here with 23% of voting power, Finland with 15% of voting power. So it's obviously skewed in the favor of the heavier validators, basically, right? But I mean, we can see here that 97.3% have voted yes. However, we are just simply not seeing enough votes at the moment for this to pass. In fact, we're only about, let's see how much we need here. We're 17% of the 33% that we actually need for this proposal to pass. So we have to basically double the amount of CRO coin that is being used to vote in order for this proposal to pass by February 6th. And we're going to have to see how this goes if we do actually see enough CRO coin. If we don't, I would be surprised, but I guess it would just mean that people really don't know what to think or what to do with this proposal. And I mean, it's an interesting one, right? I mean, you're talking about an increase in the yield, which is nice, but that simultaneously comes with a also an increase in inflation, which is also definitely not ideal. So interesting to kind of see how this will end. If we get enough CRO for it to pass, I think the odds are in the favor that it completely passes. I mean, we got 97.3% in favor, 1.5% voting no, 1.2% abstaining. So, yeah, it's just a matter of getting the numbers for it to actually pass. Now, speaking of numbers, I do want to wrap things up taking a look at the CRO coin chart. So let me go ahead and put us on 1 year. And yeah, we are in fact at the bull market support band right now, which is a super important technical indicator for CRO coin in my opinion. And I always like to refer to the all-time chart here to take a look at exactly why I place a lot of importance on this indicator. Okay, so we can actually see here, had you bought CRO coin, or you can just see on the price action, basically every time it crosses below the bull market support band, it does tend to be bearish. When we cross above, it does tend to be bullish. You can actually take right here as an example. So we crossed above the bull market support band in February 2021 at about 9 cents, shot all the way up to 25 cents. Okay, we crossed back below it, crossed back above it here once again in August of 2021 and in September of 2021, and this led it on that, that really big move from about, where was this? This was at about 15 cents all the way up to 95 cents at the peak of the bull market. And then if we take a look at the bear market year, this rejection from the bull market support band that did come in March of 2022 at around 50 cents. This did lead to CRO coin just basically falling all the way down to those lows of 5 cents, right? So selling here at the bull market support band rejection, it would have effectively helped avoid about a 90% decline from that level, right? You can just see it after that, continuously getting rejected once again in November of 2022. and this was at 12 cents, and then from there it went down another 50%. And taking a look at the past 1 year, even in 2023, okay, when CROCoin did rally off of that 5 cent level, it still got rejected here at the bull market support band once, twice, and then on the third time it finally broke above, and that is when we saw this big move to the upside, okay, that we saw in late last year, where it basically doubled in the matter of just a couple of weeks. So now we are back at the bull market support band, a key area of price action for this altcoin, and that is what I'm eyeing in terms of the charts. Just kind of looking to see how it is able to react at this bull market support band. If it does not, I think the odds are that we go right back down to that 5.5 cent, 5 cent range. And if it does, we could actually go ahead and retest the highs up here at about 10 cents. So that's what I'm looking for when it does come to the charts. As always, let me know what you think about CROCoin in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are you thinking about this project at the moment? I hope you all enjoyed the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.